Finding Japanese denim goods and niche menswear in New York City is a lot harder than you would think. And us as denim heads and niche menswear heads, we are obsessed with the quality of a garment. We're obsessed with the history behind it. We're obsessed with the story. We are obsessed with how it came to be. We're obsessed with the connection to the brand or the retailer where we got the garment from. Our connection to menswear is a lot deeper than just the garment, but it's the entire experience as well as the personnel behind it. That is what we look for, and to be honest, that's the way that it should be. Our style, our appearance, menswear, all of this is an extension of who we are, which is why we take it as deep as we do. And we also have a special appreciation not only for the garment, but also from the retailers as well as the brands that we shop from. At the end of the day, when you're shopping for a garment, you kind of have to impart a certain amount of trust to the brand or the retailer, and you extend a little bit of yourself, but you also take in a piece of the brand or the retailer as well. And to be honest, there are very few shops in New York City that are able to develop and nurture that kind of consumer to retailer relationship. But recently, my friend Nick over at Stridewise introduced me to this incredible store over on Mulberry called Standard & Strange. And I have to tell you guys, this store has quickly become my favorite store, not just for raw selvage denim, but for streetwear and menswear goods as a whole. The offering at Standard & Strange is quite literally unlike anything I've ever seen in New York City. Reminiscent of the brand name Standard & Strange, you can get everything here from basic wardrobe staples to some of the most interesting garments from all around the world that you would never see otherwise. And recently I was able to shoot inside of Standard & Strange's New York City store, and I have to tell you, every time I come to the store, I'm literally like a kid in the candy shop. I just want to grab everything. I mean, the collections, their offerings, everything that they have is so well curated, and even before you walk into the store, you really get a sense of what Standard & Strange truly is at heart, bridging the gap between the menswear necessity staples to the avant-garde handmade garments and everything in between. Standard & Strange wants to groom you to create your own style starting from the foundation or the ground up, which is really something unlike I've ever seen in another retailer. They want to help you, they want to educate you, and I really have to say that the staff at Standard & Strange are of some of the most educated and passionate people in menswear and men's fashion that I've ever met. Now, Standard & Strange is really a great shop to stop by if you don't yet have your own type of cohesive style, but you're really interested in purchasing garments that are not only going to last a long time, but are going to help you kind of discover the things that you like, the things that you don't like, how you want to dress, all of these things as a whole. And I have to say, the collection is so diverse and so vast. I mean, they have so many brands that they introduced to me that were completely new, but really gave me a new perspective on how I can dress. And not just that, but they also have niche menswear, household names such as Orslo, Momotaro, Freenote. They have so many staple brands that create luxury menswear essentials that help provide the base for the more avant-garde garments, such as Motive MFG, Black Sign, 1111, and so much more. And that's what I really love about Standard & Strange, is that they're not just selling you clothing, they're selling you an experience, and you always walk away with the story behind the garments that you're purchasing. I always joke around that Standard & Strange is kind of like the Avengers of menswear in New York City, because it's almost like the team was handpicked of some of the best and most educated menswear and men's fashion icons, as well as women's wear too, and they all built this incredible team that literally solidifies Standard & Strange as a fashion hub. The buyer, Kyle himself, I have so much respect for, because his eye, his style, the way that he kind of goes about purchasing collections with the entirety of the store's offering in mind truly is second to none. I mean, the brands that Kyle buys for Standard & Strange quite honestly opened even my eyes when it comes to menswear. One of my favorite brands that I discovered while I was at Standard & Strange was this brand called Motive MFG, which is actually a Chinese brand that manufactures some of the craziest, most sleek looking, most fashion forward garments that I've ever seen from a menswear brand coming out of China. And I really want you guys to get that notion out of your head that all Chinese garments are bad. They're not. China literally has some of the best craftsmanship and workmanship in the entire world, and they also have some of the best fabrics in the world, ranging from silks to cashmeres to all different types of stuff. And what Motive MFG does is that they actually seek out to elevate that message that Chinese made goods can be fashion forward and can be meticulously quality made as well. My new favorite pant that I actually got while I was over at Standard & Strange was the Motive MFG cotton and linen indigo dyed denim trouser, and this is actually, believe it or not, made from a selvage denim. And you can actually see that not only is the outseam constructed of selvage denim, but they also have the selvage ID running throughout the waistband as well. And this denim trouser has this absolutely gorgeous, almost fluorescent kind of indigo color that has this incredible kind of shine to it. And because of the linen, it wrinkles very nicely, not overtly, but it just gives it a little bit of that texture, a little bit more of that relaxed, yet kind of Gatsby-ish kind of feel in a way. And you can actually see that this denim has been given a wash. So at the seams, you're starting to see some of that puckering. You're seeing a little bit of that fading because this cotton linen denim pant is actually going to fade down just like a raw denim is, which means that Motive made this garment with longevity and durability in mind. Another brand that I discovered over at Standard & Strange is a brand called 1111, and this is an Indian brand that is dedicated to using 100% safe for the skin, natural dyes with hand-loom fabrics made from skilled artisans with traditional techniques all across India. And if you guys have been on this channel before, you know I love Indian-made garments. I think India is going to become the next capital of men's fashion in the near future just because of the garments that they're producing. And 1111 is a perfect example of why I think India is garnering that kind of superiority. I mean, everything from their Breeze Natural Indigo shirt to their Sashiko overshirt to their hand-loomed pants. I mean, 1111 is a brand that really exemplifies artisanal elegance and also speaks volumes about the brands that Standard & Strange carries. They're also the only store in New York City that I know that actually can sell the brand called Real McCoy's, and Real McCoy is a brand that is sought out so heavily amongst the heritage Americana and menswear community just because of the quality, the story, the ethos, as well as the look behind all of their garments. And as you walk into their store, they have an entire section dedicated to the Real McCoy. Everything from their raw denim jeans, which are a very, very rare sight, to their souvenir jackets, which I absolutely love, to their cardigans. I mean, there's no shortage of Real McCoy over at Standard & Strange. They also have handmade accessory brands like Lowercase NYC, which is a Brooklyn-based optical wear brand where they make all of their frames out of Italian or Japanese acetate right in the Brooklyn Army Terminal. And these craftsmen manufacture some of the greatest sunglasses that I've ever had the pleasure of holding in my hands. Fully kitted out with handset rivets to intricate and detail-oriented designs with a little bit of a handmade yet luxury feel, Lowercase NYC is another brand that fits itself beautifully into the Standard & Strange offering. And you also immediately kind of get a sense or a feel of the vast amount of styles that Standard & Strange can cater to. When you take a look at how they style their mannequins when they put garments together, you really see the cerebral intent behind how they style and how they dress the mannequins in store. And this is not just kind of an education tool on how you can wear these garments, but it's also a freedom of expression for the people who work in the store as well. I mean, everything from simple basic loungy looking styles to a lot more streetweary kind of avant-garde looks. This again kind of strengthens the idea that Standard & Strange really wants to help cultivate any style. They also have a gargantuan amount of leather jackets that you could choose from, with an entire section dedicated to just leather goods. And as my friend Nick over at Stridewise likes to call it, this section also incorporates the great boot wall as well. Standard & Strange has long been known to carry some of the greatest boots and the highest quality footwear available in the world, and that renown still carries true to this day. I mean, this is perfect for any boot head or raw denim head that needs a pair of boots to wear with their raw denim. I mean, Standard & Strange really helps elevate any single element of any type of wardrobe. And the thing is, I really have a special respect for the people at Standard & Strange because these aren't just salespeople. They're not just people working at a fashion store. These are people who are active in the community, who visit and attend almost every menswear event in New York City, whether it's their brands or brands that they work with or not. And that's something that really speaks volumes about the people there because it's deeper than just making a sale. It's deeper than just Standard & Strange to them. They want to play their part and cultivate and again nurture the menswear community in New York City as a whole. So not only can you catch the staff over at Standard & Strange at all of the different menswear events in New York City, but you can also catch them hosting their own events in store as well. And if you ever want to stay up on the events that they're having in the store, make sure to sign up for their newsletter where you can get all their emails and all the dates for the events that they're going to be throwing because they throw a lot of events. This to me is what truly solidifies and strengthens the idea that Standard & Strange is the menswear hub of New York City. I mean, the idea of having a retailer where you can literally start your wardrobe from absolutely nothing and kind of build yourself all the way up to the much more avant-garde, to the really meticulously crafted statement pieces. The idea behind that is genius, but it literally could not be done without passionate staff who have garnered vast amounts of knowledge, like Kyle, who's the buyer, like Sam, who's the art director, like Xavier, Xavier, like Matthew, all of these guys are not just in it because it's a job. They're in it because they care, because it's part of their lifestyle, because it's what they want to do. And that to me is what makes Standard & Strange truly, truly special, which is why there's no wonder why it's become my favorite store in New York City. If any of you guys live in New York and you haven't stopped by Standard & Strange yet, I implore you that you have to go. You have to see it. You gotta try their garments out. You gotta get connected. I mean, whether or not you're a raw denim head or a niche menswear head, Standard & Strange lends itself perfectly to both of you. And it truly is an incredible shopping experience. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Make sure to check out their website if you're not in New York. Also, make sure to sign up for their newsletter whenever they're having events or they're introducing new brands or they got new drops. Check out the latest lookbook that my friend over there, Sam, who is the art director, actually recently just dropped. I mean, the lookbook is incredible. And make sure to drop by and visit them. I'm always there. If you catch me over there, say hi. I'm gonna drop the address down in the description, as well as all the other information that you need. And make sure to stay up on the events that they're having, because they're always having events. And I honestly really think that Standard & Strange is gonna become New York City's new menswear hub. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you get to check them out. Big shout out to everybody over at Standard & Strange who hosted me with this gracious hospitality. Shout out to Sam, shout out to Xavier, shout out to Kyle, shout out to Matthew, shout out to all you guys. And with that being said, thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week.